Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Quick Break Games, where we cover everything LEGO gaming. In this video, we're going to be talking LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, the big new LEGO game coming out here in spring 2021 in just a few months. And we got a lot of information here straight from TT Games. This covers, gameplay. This covers the open world, a lot of stuff like that, like how the random encounters work, the amount of playable characters, the amount of planets, everything like that is covered here. And this is all comes straight from TT Games, an interview found in the PlayStation official magazine in the UK. And we actually have a picture straight from the magazine. It looks like this comes from page 74 and 75 of the magazine. And we're just going to zoom in and read the full interview, and it gives us a lot of information, and it's pretty cool. So we also got about 3 seconds of gameplay, because last week, I believe on January 11th, they announced Lucasfilm Games, which is going to kind of cover all the Star Wars games, all the upcoming Indiana Jones games now coming out, and things like that. And LEGO Star Wars is going to be a part of Lucasfilm Games. And within that little trailer, they gave us about like 3 seconds of new gameplay, which was interesting. So if you want to see that, you can check out my other video. I made a video about that last week, but this week, like I just released about a few days ago, we got quite a bit of information about this game. So let's go ahead and read this article. Let's not waste any more time here. Here you can see at the top, LEGO Star Wars: Skywalker Saga. It's going to be coming to the PS5 and PS4. This doesn't mention Xbox and Nintendo Switch and PC because this is PlayStation Magazine, so they're not going to reference the other consoles. It says ETA. It doesn't actually give us an official date yet, unfortunately, and 1 to 2 players, so co-op is going to be in the game. I know some people were kind of asking about that. Yes, this game still supports 2-player co-op as always, but I think now with the new camera angle, it's always going to be split screen. Anyway. Alright, so let's go ahead and start reading this article. So it says here, we've been waiting to play through the Star Wars saga's greatest moments, and this year we'll finally see the release of this tour around the galaxy far, far away. While the PlayStation 5 version will use the console's SSD to ensure faster load times, Don McDermott, lead hub designer at TT Games, tells us that the DualSense ray tracing and 3D audio won't be supported at launch, which is disappointing. With the bad news out of the way, we quiz her on what is included and why this could be the best game in the LEGO series. And that's saying a lot considering there's been like 25 or so of these games since 2005. And so right there you get the announcement that the PS5 and Xbox Series X, we can assume, versions of the game will not be coming at launch. So what this means is if you buy the next-gen version, you're probably going to get the faster loading times and things like that. But in terms of like the graphical enhancements like ray tracing and 3D audio and the use of the DualSense controller on PS5, that all is going to be coming in an update later on, which I'm completely fine with. We know this game's been in development for the old consoles for a while, so the new features of the new consoles won't be there at launch, but you still will probably get the loading time benefit due to the SSD and everything like that. So yeah, it seems like this game won't be an official next-gen game until maybe a month or two after launch. We'll have to wait and see about that. But it is cool if they basically confirm that ray tracing and 3D audio and things like that are coming later. So the interviewer says, how has the extra development time helped you? And then the developer for TT Games says, the biggest thing we've gained from our extra development time is really a chance to polish and refine the systems and features that needed that extra little bit of love to make them as fun and challenging as we'd hoped they could be. Our amazing team has been pulling out all the stops for this one, even while the whole studio adjusted to working from home. So we got a couple bits of information there. First off, they actually acknowledged the delay, the extra development time, which is interesting. Before this, they just kind of threw the spring 2021 date at the end of the last trailer at Gamescom, and they didn't really mention the delay other than that. And they also kind of gave us that they're kind of putting all their effort into this game to make it the best it can be. So how did you choose which Star Wars events to include? There is always a lot of discussion around what moments to feature when it comes to breaking down well-known films such as Star Wars. There are a lot of big Star Wars fans at the studio, and everyone has an opinion about a favorite moment that simply must be included in the game. So the first thing we look at is the story. We break down the important beats that the story cannot do without, such as an important plot point and big memorable moments. Then we look at the unique gameplay opportunities these moments provide, and then we go from there. Throughout the process, elements can be cut, moved around, or changed in size, but we try to make sure that when you play through one of the films, you feel like you were part of the excitement and wonder you experience when watching them for the first time. Also, I can't forget, what is a LEGO game without our unique brand of humor? During this process, we are always on the lookout for opportunities to make jokes and have fun with the franchise we love. So not too much information there. We do know that they're going to be implementing levels that weren't in the old, like, complete Saga game and things like that, so we most likely will see the Palpatine versus Mace Windu fight, the Yoda versus Darth Sidious fight, things like that that weren't in the original games. I'm sure that played a factor into what they chose to include from the movies as well. So how does this game differ from previous LEGO games? Not only is this the biggest game we have made, that's kind of what we thought, we knew this would be the biggest game, but it was also built from the ground up with a new engine. We've noted about that. We want players to experience Star Wars how they want, and to that end, when you start the game, you can play through any of the 9 films in any order. We've known about that for a while. You are not locked into a linear progression through the entire series, so if you want to start with Clone Wars or work backwards from The Rise of Skywalker, you can. We've incorporated several new gameplay features such as ADS, aiming down sight, shooting, a brand new upgrade system, and a more in-depth quest system, which features not only more elaborate and ridiculous quest chains, some of which I'm happy to note gonks feature heavily in, but a whole new tracking system on your datapad with which to engage with the quest, and the ability to do multiple quests simultaneously. Okay, so that was a ton of information. A lot of that was new too, so we're going to break all this down. So first off, it says if you want to start with Clone Wars or work backwards from The Rise of Skywalker, you can. So when it says Clone Wars there, that is not referencing the Clone Wars show or any of the content from like LEGO Star Wars 3 or anything like that. I'm like 99% sure when they say Clone Wars, they're referencing stuff from like episode 2 and 3. So I don't think Clone Wars content is included in here. But here it says we've incorporated several new gameplay features such as aiming down sight, and we can see that as well with that screenshot here on the right where you're aiming down, you're kind of aiming in a over-the-shoulder perspective. We've seen gameplay of that from the gameplay trailer, and that kind of has to do with the new camera angle, so that's very cool. It says a brand new upgrade system, and we don't really know what this upgrade system is, so maybe if you create your own character, you can like upgrade your lightsaber and change the color and things like that. Who knows what this upgrade system could be? I'm really not sure. That's going to be a big change to the LEGO game, so let me know what you think that could be, what the upgrade system could be. Maybe you can like improve your aiming or something, and maybe improve your lightsaber damage. Who knows? That's a very interesting change there. And then it also says a more in-depth quest system, which features not only more elaborate and ridiculous quest chains, which they confirm Gonk Droid, of course, because it's a big meme, but a whole new tracking system on your datapad with which to engage with the quest and the ability to do multiple quests simultaneously. So if you've played any of the Assassin's Creed games, I think it's going to work like that, where if you find a quest from somebody in the open world, it's going to kind of add it to a list of your quests, like within the menus, maybe in this new datapad, whatever, which may work similarly to like your phone in LEGO DC Supervillains, who knows. And then you can go off and find another quest in the open world, and that will be added to your datapad, and then you can kind of access that and choose which quest you want to actively pursue, and kind of complete the quest as you go. So in the previous LEGO games, you could just kind of do one thing at a time. If you tried to do another quest, it would cancel out the first quest. So it seems like you'll basically be able to add all your quests in the open world together, and you can kind of complete them as you wish and have them all ready to go simultaneously. So that sounds pretty fun. I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to work, similar to like the recent Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla and things like that. Okay, so let's move on. How do random encounters work, and what can we expect? Random encounters take place in the space sections of our open world. Each planet has its own local space where various events take place, such as quests which have ventured off-world. But these open spaces also gave us opportunity to explore the spaceship combat that serves in many of the most memorable Star Wars scenes. So for example, when you're flying around Tatooine, you might enter a contested area and find a dogfight taking place where rebel soldiers are locked in the battle with the Empire, and you can pick the side you help. One of our biggest new space features is also part of the random encounter system, the capital ships. If the player is intercepted by a capital ship, they can fight to disable the huge ships and then board them. Alright, so a lot of cool information there. Again, some of it old, some of it new. So it seems like every planet in this game is going to have an open world section around it. I'm not sure if you can then fly to other open world sections, like around other planets. Like if you're in the Tatooine space section, can you then fly over to the Coruscant space section without a loading screen? Who knows how that works, but it seems like every planet is going to have its ground area, and then it's going to have a space area above it, and these quests can actually go between each one. So you can start a quest maybe back down on the ground on Tatooine, and that quest can actually take you into outer space to complete it. So that's interesting. And of course you can board capital ships, which is going to be cool as well. We'll have to see how big those are. I hope they're like as big as they were in LEGO Star Wars 3. I think that would be pretty cool. You can also choose your side, which side you're on. If you're, fighting for the Rebels or the Empire or whatever. Okay, let's move on. How many characters are in the game? Do you have a favorite? There were around 300 playable characters made for this game, but altogether about 800 unique characters were made. Our character team did a truly amazing job. I love how they have their own character team. My favorite would have to be Yaddle. There is just something I love about her, so I can't put my finger on. Or maybe the Wampa, who is just adorable. I think fans of the new trilogy will be pleased to hear that Babu Frick is making an appearance as a playable character, and he is possibly one of the cutest things I have ever seen. Alright, so right there they confirm around 300 playable characters. which there's also 800 unique characters. So what that means, I believe, is there's going to be a lot of background characters, like kind of just NPC characters that you can't play as. We've seen this in all the LEGO games. Like if you go back and play like the complete saga, there's a lot of just random generic looking characters in the background. I think that's what that's referring to when it says 800. But right there we have confirmation of around 300 playable characters, plus there's going to be DLC. And again, it's unclear if this includes like alternate versions of characters, because we know like Luke Skywalker, for instance, is going to have like, 5 or 6 different versions of him probably. Same with Anakin and etc. So we'll have to see just how many unique characters there are, but the fact that there's 300 is going to be insane, and definitely more than any LEGO game before this. I believe LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2 had the most before this game, and that was around like 270 or so. So a lot of characters here. Alright, so here's the last question of the interview. How explorable are the moons and planets? There are 23 planets/moons with 28 unique locations that the player can visit, each full of quests, challenges, items, and characters to find. If you have a favorite Star Wars location, it's pretty likely you can visit it in-game. Each of these planets also features a local space where you can take advantage of the many ships you can unlock to get in dogfights and defeat capital ships, which when boarded, reveal even more areas to explore. So very cool. So it seems like even the capital ships, when you board them, that's going to be its own area as well. So very cool. So right there you go, 23 planets/moons. I'm not sure how many actually appear. If any of you guys know, in the 9 movies, if you count every planet that appears, how many there are. I've heard that there might be 24, so maybe there's one planet missing, but I'm sure that planet, whatever it is very brief, maybe like Alderaan or something like that, where they never actually show it in the movies. But also 28 unique locations. That means some of these planets are actually going to have 2 or 3 locations on them. I think this makes sense. So I think on Tatooine they probably have like Mos Eisley as a location, and then they could maybe have the village where Luke Skywalker grew up in, as well as another location. Who knows? But it seems like some of these planets are going to have multiple spots that you can visit, which is very cool. And then of course there's going to be the outer space section for each of these planets that you can then go into like space battles and dogfights. But alright, that's pretty much going to do it for everything in this interview from PlayStation Official Magazine. So if you want to check this image out yourself, I will leave a link down in the description to somebody that posted it on Reddit, I believe, so shout out to them. And yeah, so let me know if you learned anything new here. There's a lot of information here. We know that there's 300 playable characters at least. We know there's going to be a lot of open world stuff. There's going to be a new quest system to kind of track all your quests. There's going to be an upgrade system, which is probably the most interesting thing, I think, of this interview that we really had no idea that was in the game. There's just a lot of information here, so let me know what you all think about that. So special thanks to PlayStation for posting this interview. Guys, we're getting really close. We're starting to get more and more information. We got the 3 seconds of gameplay from Lucasfilm last week, and now we got this interview. So I think another trailer is going to be coming very soon, within the next couple weeks or so. So just stay tuned. This game's only a few months away, and I think we're going to be getting more and more marketing here as we get closer to the release date. And I think there might be like one more. This is just speculation on my part, but I think the next trailer for this game will definitely reveal the release date for sure. And I think it'll reveal maybe one more significant gameplay feature. I think maybe some online is going to be incorporated into this game. Again, that's just speculation on my part, but let me know what you think about that. I think this game's going to have online play. We'll just have to wait and see. Well, just stay tuned for all that. Let me know what you think of all this news. Subscribe if you want to be notified when the newest LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga news comes out. We're always covering this game as well as other things, LEGO gaming. We're doing walkthroughs, mini kit guides, all sorts of LEGO game stuff here on the channel. So if you like LEGO games, you're probably going to want to subscribe. Yeah, like this video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if not, and I'll see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.